excess, and how sweet it is. Once again, it's Catania in the lead, In Excess, and how sweet it is in the very early moments of this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. To the immediate lead is Katana, followed by How Sweet It Is 2 with the pace boat on the far outside. There's our onboard camera aboard How Sweet It Is 2. How Sweet It Is 2 is your 1993 Modified and Superboat World Champion. There's our helicopter in the background from HMC Helicopters out of Miami. Our helicopter pilot, Mr. Dave Clark. How Sweet It Is a 32-foot skater powered by two 750-horsepower United Racing engines with Mercury drive. The owner-driver, Mr. Carl Myers from New York. Battleman Ed Collier from Boca Raton, Florida. How sweet it is, too. The racing team would like to thank some of their sponsors, including Domino Sugar, Reebok, Sweeteners Plus, and Hampton Inn in Key West. Back to our helicopter shot now. You see Katana in the lead there in open class out front, but quickly coming up is Recovery. Recovery moving very quickly behind Katana. It's between Katana and Recovery here for the lead in open class. A battle going on between Katana and Recovery, and Recovery moving up very quickly, has passed Katana, and now Recovery is the leader in open class and the leader overall in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. And now there's How Sweet It Is. Beautiful jump by How Sweet It Is 2 on the inside. There's Stealth in the middle and In Excess on the outside. There you can see very rough waters here today, making for some exciting racing. There's Stealth now taking the lead in Superclass, passing In Excess and also Katana on the outside. How Sweet It Is. Beautiful jump. How Sweet It Is 2. M39 Carl Myers boat off to a great start in this race. Of course, this is our slow motion replay. Beautiful jump there by In Excess on the outside. There you see how rough the waters are in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. There's the battle between In Excess and Stealth. Of course, Stealth taking the lead over In Excess in Superclass. There's How Sweet It Is 2 now, of course, on the inside. Beautiful jump by M39. How Sweet It Is 2. The How Sweet It Is 2 racing team would like to thank Don Schwebs and the crew over at Lake X, also crew members Richie and Scott. Also special thanks to Chuck Cece over at United Racing Engines. M39 How Sweet It Is 2 off to a great start in this race. Currently #1 in the modified class. Now we're on board M39 How Sweet It Is 2 with our onboard camera. And there you can see the spray and the waves and how rough and rocky here it is in this race here in Key West. Very rough waters, windy, but M39 How Sweet It Is 2 handling very nicely here in this race. Mr. Carl Myers aboard along with Ed Collier, the throttle man. As we look to the leaders now, it's Recovery, Stealth, In Excess, and Katana on the outside. Recovery the overall leader right now, but In Excess moving quickly now, getting very close to Stealth, and In Excess moving and has passed Stealth, taking the lead in Superclass. So it's Recovery, In Excess, Stealth, and Katana right now in the early moments of this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. There is Stealth. This 46-foot Jaguar is the leader now in the Supercat. A little rundown. Recovery's the overall leader and the leader in open class. Of course, In Excess is in first place in the Super V. We understand that Insatiable and Jaws did not even start this race, not even leaving the harbor, and are not in this 1994 Key West Superboat. Beautiful jump by Stealth. Just look at that. Stealth is a 46-foot Jaguar powered by four 1,000-horsepower Cobra power inboards with Arneson drives. The owner of Stealth is Stealth Offshore Racing Enterprises. The driver, Mr. Brett Salter from Lighthouse Point, Florida. Throttleman is Dan Campbell from Fort Lauderdale. And Joe Vasquez, the navigator, is from Hollywood, Florida. Crew Chief Kelly Wolf, also from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're looking at Stealth, 46-foot Jaguar. Stealth sponsor is WaveTech, a digital imaging company. It's a public company on NASDAQ, and its trading symbol is NEWU or New U. Stealth currently #1 in Super Cat and 3rd overall. By the way, the lettering on Stealth was done by Wilson DeWitt Marine Graphics from Sarasota, Florida. Stealth Racing Team, beautiful jump, beautiful jump. Stealth Racing Team doing a terrific job. There you see how bumpy these waters are here in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Aboard Stealth once again is Brett Salter. He's the driver, Dan Campbell throttle man, and Joe Vasquez the navigator. Doing an excellent job here in this race. Bumpy waters off of Key West. Just listen to those 4 1,000 horsepower Cobra Power inboards. Freeze Frame Video would like to wish the Stealth Racing Team the very best of luck during this 1994 season. Of course, with this one here at Key West being the opener. Stealth. Here's a slow-mo of that jump. Just beautiful. US 1 Recovery is in first place overall in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. This is a brand new 46-foot skater and the very first race for this boat, Recovery. It is powered by 2 900 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser drives. The owner of Recovery is Stuart Haim from Hempstead, New York. The driver, Bob Kaiser from Detroit, Michigan. Throttle-man Joey Imprescia from Babylon. He's also the owner-operator of East Coast Marine. You're looking at US 1 Recovery right now, first in open class and first overall. All right, let's go aboard Recovery now with our freeze frame onboard camera as it was shortly before the beginning of this race. And as you can see, Recovery, this 46-foot skater, going out of the harbor, awaiting the green flag for the beginning of this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. And we now have the green flag and the race has begun. Recovery, a brand new 46-foot skater in its very first race with this boat. Recovery, US 1. The Recovery Racing Team would like to thank everyone over at Lake X as well as all the people over at Mercury High Performance in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Recovery crew member Willie Schultz installed the freeze frame onboard camera, and we thankfully for that. Also, another crew member, Nick, sometimes known as Sick Nick, is the alternate driver for Recovery, this 46-foot skater, brand new 46-foot skater, and its very first race. With Recovery leaving in excess on its port side, is now moved into second place overall in this race. Recovery, US 1 taking these bumpy waters very well at this point. There's your Recovery pulling away from the rest of the field as you see some of the boats there on the port side lagging behind Recovery. There's Catania on the starboard side there, also lagging behind, moving down. And Catania, of course, in open class now. Recovery has taken first place overall in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Recovery, number 1. All right, let's ride along now with Mr. Bob Kaiser, the driver, and throttle man Joey Imprescia, along Recovery, number 1 overall. They hear the throttle man Joey Imprescia doing an excellent job about this brand new 46-foot skater. Now here's a shot you probably have never seen before. Our freeze frame specially mounted camera in the tunnel of this 46-foot skater, Recovery. Now we're on board again. Recovery, and there you see the waters have gotten bumpier and rougher as we are now in open waters. Bob Kaiser and Joey Imprescia doing an excellent job aboard this 46-foot skater, powered by two 900-horse-powered Mercury inboards and Mercruiser drives. Beautiful jump by the Recovery Racing team. The owner of Recovery is Mr. Stuart Hay from Hempstead, New York. By the way, last year the Recovery Racing team won the World Championship at the SBR competition as well as the APBA. They did that with a 40-foot skater. We're glad to see Mr. Bob Kaiser participating in this competition here in Key West. Bob Kaiser from Detroit, Michigan. He's the driver aboard Recovery. Of course, Joey Imprescia, throttle man. He's from Babylon, New York, owner-operator of East Coast Marine. Recovery, first overall and first in open class. Beautiful, beautiful jump by the Recovery Racing team. Here's a slow-mo replay. Bob Kaiser and Joey Imprescia doing a fine job aboard Recovery. There are those number 6 Mercruiser drives. In excess, the leader in Superboat V. In excess, a 47-foot fountain. In excess is powered by 3 1,000-horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser drives. In excess, the driver, Ted Sabarese from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Navigator, Rich Sabarese. Throttle man, Tress Martin, all from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In excess, the leader in Super V. The NXS Racing team always does an excellent job. They had a tremendous year last year, 1993. They were the 1993 USO champion, also the 1993 SBR champions, the APBA champions, and the overall Superboat winners for 1993. The NXS Racing team currently #1 in Super V. Just listen to those 3 1,000-horsepower Mercury inboards. Nice jump there by the NXS Racing team. There's Recovery on the outside, the leader in open class, Recovery. But on the inside, it's NXS, the 47-foot fountain, currently the leader in Super V. Beautiful jump by the NXS Racing team. You see how rough the waters are during this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. There's our slow-mo replay of that beautiful jump. Beautiful. Back to live action there. Ted Sabarese, Rich Sabarese, and Tress Martin doing a wonderful job aboard this 47-foot fountain in these very rough waters. Another spectacular jump. Wonderful job by Tress Martin at the throttle. Let's see it again. By the way, this NXS racing team will be participating on April 29th in the Miami to New York Cannonball Run. Anything goes, and anything will go. Any boat, any number of stops along the way. The only thing that matters is who gets to New York first. Just a spectacular jump there, as you just saw the NXS racing team. Let's see it again. Tremendous splash. There's your recovery up front there. Recovery, of course, the leader in open class. In excess, number one in Super V. In excess, 47-foot fountain. This is the 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix, coming to you from Key West, Florida. There's an excess on a turn. Bumpy waters making it for very exciting racing here. This is the very first race for the SBR for the 1994 season. In excess, number one in Super V. There's recovery, the leader in open class. Recovery, US 1. Bob Kaiser and Joey Imprescia aboard recovery, doing an excellent job here. These rough waters of Key West, Florida. You see both in their racing canopies. On the outside, in excess, the leader in Super V. In excess. Mr. Fire. Mr. Fire is the leader in open V class. Beautiful jump by the Mr. Fire racing team. Mr. Fire is a 38-foot cigarette powered by two 925 horsepower Cobra power inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. Aboard Mr. Fire, driver Tom O'Connell from Miami, Florida. Navigator Greg Harrison from Greensboro, North Carolina. Another beautiful jump here. Let's see the slow-mo replay. Larry Goldman is the throttle man. He's from Hollywood, Florida. Mr. Fire Racing Team would like to thank a number of crew members, including Tad, Marie, Jody, and Diana. For Tom O'Connell, the driver, this is his first rookie race. Tom is a local businessman in North Miami, Florida. He's been heavily involved in the boating industry. For Greg Harrison, the navigator, this is also his first offshore professional race. He's had many hours of rough water experience on his boats, among them Killer, a 33-foot fountain. Larry Goldman, the throttle man, owns and operates Cobra Power Marine Service Center. He's been racing since 1985. He was the throttle man for Sweet Revenge during the 1992-93 season. By the way, you know, participating in this race was not anticipated by this racing team. They only enrolled 2 weeks before the race, and Cobra Power Marine's race division effectively and efficiently inspected all necessary parts. Of course, Cobra Power Marine is your home for all your high-performance needs. You're looking right now at Mystifier, currently #1 in Open V class. Here's another beautiful jump by the Mystifier racing team. These two 925 horsepower Cobra Power inboards sound excellent. The Mystifier racing team would like to thank Cobra Power Marine and Sunny Isles Marine. Their crew members Tom O'Connell, Larry Goldman, and Greg Harrison. All doing an excellent job. We have Freeze Frame Video wish them the very best of luck during the 1994 season. Airborne, the leader in M class, is a 38-foot cigarette powered by two 800 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser drives. The driver, Art Gerard from Bay Harbor, Florida. Navigator is Mike Horn from Key West, Florida. And throttleman is Mike Gerard from Bay Harbor, Florida. Airborne #1 in M class. Airborne racing team would like to thank Sloppy Joe's Bar in Key West, along with Howard Johnson's Lodge, also in Key West, and Horns Harley Davidson, also in Key West, Florida. On the outside, Spirit of Houston running behind NXS in Super V class. But on the inside is Airborne, currently the leader in M class. The Airborne racing team were the 1992 APBA national champions. Also, they were the OPBRA 92-93 Gold Cup champions, as well as the Northeast champs for 91-93 APBA, and also 92-93 APBA Southeast champions. Airborne D2. Earlier this year in St. Cloud, the Airborne racing team took first place. They'd like to thank the Mercury High Performance people, as well as Bobby Moore's Custom Marine in Miami, Florida, and TNT Rigging, also in Miami. You're looking at Airborne, currently #1 in M class. Throttleman Mike Gerard doing an excellent job. Once again aboard Airborne is driver Art Gerard, navigator Mike Horn, and throttleman Mike Gerard, all doing an excellent job in these bumpy waters of Key West. In second place in M class, running behind Airborne, is M39. How sweet it is, too. A 32-foot skater powered by two 750 horsepower United Racing engines with Mercury drives. Of course, the driver, Mr. Carl Myers from New York. Throttle man, Ed Collier from Boca Raton, Florida. How sweet it is, too, currently in second place in M-Class. The racing team would like to thank their sponsors, including Domino's Sugar, Reebok, Sweeteners Plus, Hampton Inn in Key West, as well as also special thanks to Mr. Don Schwebs over at Lake X, and crew members Richie and Scott, and also thanks to Chuck Cece at United Racing Engine. You're looking at how sweet it is, too. Carl Myers and Ed Collier doing an excellent job, currently in second place in M-Class behind Airborne. The freeze frame video production crew would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Carl Myers for transporting our equipment to Key West, Florida for this race. How sweet it is, too, your 1993 SBR and APBA World Champions. How sweet it is, too, in second place in M-Class, M39. Nice jump by the How Sweet It Is, Too racing team. All right, you're looking at S77 Lee Aerospace in the second start of this race. These were the smaller boats, and which included Stock 1, Stock 2, the Pro Outboard, and A-Class. Lee Aerospace off to a great start here in the second start of this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. You're looking at S77 Lee Aerospace, a 28-foot skater. There on the right side is Team Florida, Harmsco's Team Florida. And now they've got the green flag and the race is underway. Lee Aerospace out to a great start. Team Florida on the outside. There on the right side is Harmsco's Team Florida. 6 laps here for these boats, S1, S2, Pro Outboard, and A-Class. Coming up on the right side is Bodyguard. We have Auto Palace on the left side of the screen. Lee Aerospace, 28-foot Douglas skater, off to a great start here in the second start of this race. Aboard Lee Aerospace is James Lee from Wichita, Kansas. He's the driver. Throttle man Mike Gagliano. He's the throttle man from Merrick, New York. He's with Ocean Outboard out in Merrick, New York. The Lee Aerospace racing team would like to thank Mr. Greg Plan and Chris Becker. They're part of the crew. Lee Aerospace is powered by two 2.5 EFIs. The Lee Aerospace racing team would like to thank Legax for their support. Also Jimmy from Ocean Outboard for his advice. And Pete from Skater for building a fine boat. Lee Aerospace S77. Last year, by the way, Lee Aerospace in this Key West race came in second in the first race and took the first place checkered flag in the final race of this event. Some of the other boats in Stock 1 include Bodyguard and Change Order. Once again, our onboard camera aboard Lee Aerospace. There's our HMC helicopter there in the background. Dave Clark, our helicopter pilot. There you see the rough, bumpy waters and crew members James Lee and Mike Gagliano going for quite a wild ride in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Once again, our HMC helicopter there from Miami, Florida. Also aboard our helicopter is Gary Johnson, Jeff Girardi from Freeze Frame Video, and Willie and John Schultz. Excellent job there by James Lee and Mike Gagliano. Quite a battle here between Lee Aerospace and Bodyguard in Stock 1. Nice jump there by the Lee Aerospace racing team. Quite a race with these bumpy waters here. Pretty exciting racing. As we said, this was the second start of the race, included Stock 1, Stock 2, Pro Outboard, and A Class. Total laps, 6. Total mileage, 86 miles. There's Lee Aerospace there on the inside. Hog's Breath on the outside at the top of the pack in A Class. But right now it's Lee Aerospace #1 in Stock 1 here at this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Both James Lee and Mike Gagliano are used to these waters here in Key West. As we said, they did very well last year in 1993 season. Came in second in the first race, first in the final race, and are #1 right now in Stock 1 here at this 1994 race in Key West. Once again on the outside, there's Hog's Breath, leader in A Class. And we're aboard now with our freeze frame video onboard camera. There you see our helicopter in the background. Gary Johnson and Jeff Girardi and William John Schultz aboard there. Once again, our helicopters from HMC Helicopters out of Miami, Florida. Nice jump by the Lee Aerospace racing team. With these onboard cameras, you really get a sense of what it feels like aboard these boats, especially during these bumpy waters. Quite a ride. There's Hog's Breath. Hog's Breath in A Class, Lee Aerospace, Stock 1. Nice maneuver there on these bumpy waters. S69 Bodyguard. Bodyguard is a 28-foot skater currently in second place in Stock 1 class. Bodyguard is powered by two 2.5 EFIs. The driver, Mr. Albert Fela from New York, New York. Throttle man Dennis Petrucci, also from New York. Bodyguard started well this season, this 1994 racing season. It took first place in St. Cloud a couple of weeks ago. Bodyguard racing team would like to thank MF Electric, Club Limousine, and Cody Marine. Also special thanks to Richie and crew at Cody Marine, Woodbridge, New Jersey, for perfecting the motors. Jason at Performance Marine in Lake George. Chris and Mike at Graphics X. Also Best Western and Key Ambassador for the really terrific accommodations. And Danny, Richie, and family from DeSantis Chevy for their support. And of course, also a very special thanks to his daughters. That's from Albert Fela to his daughters Lisa, Michelle, and his son Albert for their support as well. Beautiful jump by the Bodyguard racing team. Let's see it again. Excellent job by Albert Fela and Dennis Petrucci aboard Bodyguard. Beautiful. This is the first race for the SBR 1994 season, and an exciting one it is with these rough water conditions in Key West. A lot of exciting racing going on here. and a lot of great driving. Other competitors in Stock 1 include Lee Aerospace and Change Order, along with Bodyguard. There's Lee Aerospace. Lee Aerospace, of course, the leader in S1. And there's Bodyguard number 2 in Stock 1 class. Battle going on here between Lee Aerospace and Bodyguard as Bodyguard tries to pick up some space. There you see in the background some of the Key West beaches and, of course, hotels. Beautiful place to vacation here in Key West, Florida. Albert Fela doing a wonderful job driving. Dennis Petrucci with throttling. Just listen to those two 2.5 EFIs. Bodyguard now very close to Lee Aerospace, has made up a lot of room. Battling here for first place in Stock 1. Bodyguard, you can see the spray from Lee Aerospace. Very close. And there's Lee Aerospace, and now there's Bodyguard passing Lee Aerospace and has taken over first place in Stock 1. Bodyguard now in first place in Stock 1. Lee Aerospace in second place. Oh, Bodyguard apparently has some technical problems, slowing down now. Lee Aerospace taking the lead in S1 class. But a wonderful job by Bodyguard. Lee Aerospace there, number 1 in Stock 1 class. In second place is S44 Change Order, a 28-foot redline powered by two 400-horsepower United Racing engines with Mercruiser drives. The driver, John Peterson from Key West, Florida. Throttleman Ed Whirling from Summerland, Key, Florida. There's How Sweet It Is on the outside. How Sweet It Is in M class. But on the inside, Change Order, currently in second place in S class. The racing team would like to thank some of the crew members, including Mike Peterson, Dustin Whirling, and Dave Roper. Also special thanks to the sponsors, including Maris Equipment, Big Pine Travel, Howard Johnson's in Key West, Overseas Lumber, Mercury Lake X, also Shoreline of the Florida Keys, and Ed Whirling Construction. Also a special thanks to Chuck and his staff at United Racing Engines, Joe Carter also of Airbrush Boutique in Key West. You're looking at Change Order, currently in second place in Stock 1. S44 Change Order. John Peterson and Ed Whirling doing a terrific job aboard this 28-foot red line. Other competition in Stock 1, Lee Aerospace and Bodyguard. But as we saw, Bodyguard is now out of the race. Was giving Lee Aerospace a lot of competition, but apparently had some technical problems and had to pull out of this event. Nice jump there. Oh, very loose. Almost disastrous, but they got out of it just fine. Here's a slow-mo replay. Let's see that one more time. An extremely high jump there, and of course the boat there was almost tipping but not quite, and they managed to get out of that situation. Very good for Mr. John Peterson and Ed Whirling. Nice job. With that picture, you really see what the waters are doing or could do to these boats here. Very rough out there. But these drivers are just doing a wonderful job maintaining control. Change order once again is in second place in Stock 1. Freeze frame video would just like to say that we're happy to see this local team here. Change order being able to participate in this 1994 Superboat Grand Prix right here in Key West with Mr. John Peterson and Ed Whirling in this 28-foot red line. Dominating P class is P69 Venus Swimwear, a 35-foot motion powered by three 2.5 EFIs. The owner, Ford's Racing from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The driver, Mr. Bill Ford. And throttle man is Paul Petito. They're all from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Paul Petito, by the way, is the owner of Precision Boat Works in Fort Lauderdale. He's rigged and raced offshore boats for years. By the way, Precision Boat Works is your home for all your high-performance needs. That's Precision Boat Works. Now, Venus Swimwear, the sponsor, celebrates its 10th anniversary this year. Once again, finds itself as a forerunner in the swimwear industry. Founded by race enthusiast Darrell Scott, Venus has grown from a two-person operation to over 200 employees and international distribution. Their colorful suits are sold predominantly by mail order throughout the United States, Canada, the Caribbean, and Mexico. Venus is also involved in the publishing of 3 national swimwear magazines: Swimwear USA, American Swimwear, and Bikini Illustrated. Venus Swimwear. You're looking at Venus Swimwear P69, currently #1 in P class. As we said, it's dominating the field. Some of the other competitors in P class include High Risk, Patriot, Team Florida, and Auto Palace Performance. There are those 3 2.5 EFIs. Paul Petito doing a great job at the throttle. Bill Ford and Paul Petito inside Venus Swimwear. As we look at those 3 2.5 EFIs, the middle motor moving around a little bit. Paul Petito and Bill Ford inside their canopies. There's that middle motor once again. You see it rattling a little bit, moving around. Venus Swimwear #1 in P class. Here's a little update on how some of the other boats are doing in the other categories. We've got Recovery, the leader in open class. Mystifier, #1 right now in open V. Stealth, the leader in super class. In excess, right in front there in super V. And Lee Aerospace right now is ahead of the field in S class. But right now, you're looking at Venus Swimwear, the leader in P class. P69, Venus Swimwear. Running very well in P class is P13 Auto Palace Performance. Auto Palace is a 32-foot skater powered by three 2.5 EFIs. Driver is Dan DeSantis from Bridgewater, Mass. And throttleman is Mark Hilsinger from Methuen, Massachusetts. The Auto Palace Performance Racing Team took first place in St. Cloud a couple of weeks ago. They'd like to thank Ocean Outboard for rigging and maintaining Auto Palace Performance. Ocean Outboard is out of Merrick, Long Island. Also, special thanks to Days Inn in Key West, Florida, for the accommodations. Auto Palace, by the way, is a chain of superstores, automotive superstores. They offer an extensive selection of auto parts and accessories to automotive enthusiasts of all levels. In addition to an in-store inventory that includes over 20,000 items, the company's newly expanded special orders department can source hard-to-find and specialized parts in just 24 hours. Those are the Auto Palace chain stores and sponsor of Auto Palace Performance. P13 running excellent in P class. Other competitors in P class include High Risk, Patriot, Team Florida, and Venus Swimwear, currently the leader in P class. Right now you're watching Auto Palace Performance P13, 32-foot skater. Auto Palace Performance Racing Team, Dan DeSantis from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Throttleman Mark Hilsinger from Methuen, Mass. Doing an excellent job. This is only their second race in this brand new 32-foot skater. As we said, they took first place in St. Cloud just a few weeks ago. This is the 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix, coming to you from Key West, Florida, the very first event for SBR. The Auto Palace Racing Team doing an excellent job. Those 2.5 EFIs sound great. Just listen. At the top of the pack in Stock 2 class is S6 Chiller. Chiller is a 26-foot red line powered by two 200-horsepowered outboards, Mariner outboards. The driver, owner, is Steve Page from Cape Coral, Florida. Throttleman is John Ted Christensen. He is the newest member of the team, new throttleman for the Chiller Racing Team. The motors are by Performance Plus Marine, props by Kinsey's Prop Shop. Crew chief is Tim Harvey. And the crew members include Pat Stott, John Misner, and Jim Crumby. S6 Chiller, the leader in Stock 2 class. 26-foot red line. Handling these rough waters in Key West very well, as you see. John Ted Christensen and Steve Page aboard Chiller. The canopy design was by Lightning Powerboats. The racing team would also like to give special thanks to Marcy, Tamara, Helen, and Sherry. There's Recovery on the outside, the leader in open class and the overall leader in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Once again, there's S6 Chiller in first place in Stock 2, and they have led their class from the beginning of this race. They're dialed in and running excellent. S6 Chiller, 26-foot red line. Steve Page and John Christensen doing an excellent job. There you see a slow-mo replay of the nice handling by the crew members there of Chiller. Here are those two 200 horsepower Mariner outboards. Just listen. There you see the crew members there inside their canopies aboard Chiller, the leader right now, in Stock 2. Look real comfortable there aboard this 26-foot red line. Those 200 horsepower outboards, Mariner outboards, doing their job in this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Running excellent in A-class is A1 Frank's Marine, a 24-foot Scorpion powered by one 600 horsepower Chevy engine with a Mercruiser drive. The driver, Pepe Ferrara of Miami, Florida. Navigator is Richard Queso, also from Miami. Throttleman Frank Iroa Jr. from Miami, Florida. Frank's Marine took third place in St. Cloud a few weeks ago. Frank's Marine is teaming up with Reprographia for the 1994 racing team. Reprographia is a blueprint company that was founded in 1980 by Richard Queso and Manuel Queso Sr., servicing architects and engineers in the Miami area. They continue their original services but also specialize in large color computer graphics, laminating, and mounting. Now, Throttleman Frank Iroa of Miami, Florida is the founder of Frank's Marine Corporation and their racing team. Frank's Marine specializes in the rigging and maintaining of high-performance pleasure and race boats. Frank himself has many successes in offshore racing, named to the APBA 92 and 93 Hall of Champions. He really knows his stuff. He, with the help of partner Jorge Arancibia and crew, has put excessive hours perfecting their race engine and take pride in the fact that they've finished all their races without mechanical failures. We also would like to mention to keep an eye out for Frank's Marine's racing team's former driver, Pepe Ferrara, and his new 33-foot power play. That's Mr. K. Frank's Marine, coming soon in B-class. His boat is being rigged and powered by Frank's Marine Corporation. You're watching A1 Frank's Marine, 24-foot Scorpion, running excellent. Racing team would like to thank Quality Inn for the fine accommodations. Frank's Marine, A1. Beautiful jump by the Frank's Marine racing team. There you see the Key West beaches in the background. There you see some of the spectator boats in the background as we watch Frank's Marine. There, of course, some of the beaches. Key West, Florida. A beautiful resort region right here. A beautiful day for a race, but as you can see, rough waters. Exciting weather conditions. There we see Bodyguard there is down and out of the race. Obviously some technical problems. Bodyguard in Stock 1 class. Now we see Frank's Marine entering the mouth of Mallory Square. As you see many of the spectators there in the background watching this race. A great view here along this Mallory Square. This is the 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. Now as the freeze frame helicopter drops in on S-15, motion sickness running excellent in Stock 2 class. It's a 25-foot motion powered by two 200-horsepower Mariner outboards. The driver is Steve Barrett from Seminole, Florida. Throttleman Scott Adams from Tarpon Springs, Florida. Motion sickness took a 5th place in its rookie race in St. Cloud. Of course, this now is their 2nd race of the 1994 season. The Motion Sickness Racing Team would like to thank their sponsor, Innovative Benefit Consultants. Also, special thanks to Amy for all her help and patience. Motion Sickness S-15. There are those two 200-horsepower Mariner outboards. Steve Barrett and Scott Adams doing a fine job aboard S-15 Motion Sickness. Other competitors in Stock 2 include Conch Attack and Chiller. Right now it's Motion Sickness S-15 25-foot motion. There you see Steve Barrett there at the wheel doing a fine job. There are spectator boats now in the background. There you see now Motion Sickness on a turn. Some of the Key West beaches in the background. Little jump there. Just listen to Scott Adams at the throttle. Motion sickness now getting closer to the mouth of Mallory Square. See the spectators in the background. Near spill there, but in control. The Motion Sickness Racing Team in control. Let's see that again. Motion sickness getting very dangerously on its side there, but right back on course. Steve Barrett and Scott Adams doing an excellent job aboard Motion Sickness. Many spectators there in the background watching this exciting race. Of course, Mallory Square, the mouth of Mallory Square, a perfect place to watch a race up close. There's Key West, hotels, beaches, great place to come on down for a vacation or for a race. There you see one of the cruise ships there in the background that comes down here with many vacationers here to Key West. Motion sickness just cranking through this harbor here now that the waters are somewhat calm. Motion sickness running excellent. There you see Mallory Square area in the background with restaurants and hotels. Of course, many spectators on the docks watching this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix. In second place in P class is P7 Patriot, a 35-foot motion powered by three 2.5 EFIs. Driver is Lisa Greger from Orlando, Florida. Throttle man is Bob Hamlin from Huntersville, North Carolina. Patriot is in second place behind High Risk, which is in first place in P class. We think that perhaps Venus Swimwear is out of the race, which of course put High Risk in first place and Patriot in second place. Patriot took a fifth place in St. Cloud a couple of weeks ago. This, of course, is its second race of the 1994 season. There are those three 2.5 EFIs. Patriot, P7. Patriot Racing Team would like to thank some of the crew members, including Kurt Steinbach, Mary and Dickie Dickinson, and, of course, Environmental Source Samplers, their sponsor, in addition to Econo Lodge and Key West for the fine accommodations. There's Lisa Greger and Bob Hamlin in their canopies. There's that cruise ship there in the background. Of course, the many hotels and restaurants along the dock area here of Mallory Square. Waters are somewhat calmer here than they are out in the open water. Of course, this being the harbor. Waters are flat and boats are really cranking through this area. Some of the spectator boats here watching this race. This is the 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix, coming to you from Key West, Florida. There we see many of the spectator boats there with Christmas tree and tank islands in the background. Watching this race here in Key West. Once again, of course, the water's a little bumpier here as we head to the open waters. Patriot once again is in second place in P class behind High Risk. Venus Swimwear is out of the race. Lisa Greger and Bob Hamlin doing a terrific job aboard this 35-foot motion. As we've said all along, of course, the rough water conditions have made this very exciting, though somewhat dangerous racing. And fortunately, we have had no mishaps. All the drivers, all the crews have done a wonderful job handling these very rough and dangerous weather conditions. In first place in P class is P71 High Risk, a 32-foot skater cat powered by three 2.5 EFIs. The driver is from Michael Nicholson from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. At the throttle is Rick Felsen from Great Neck, New York. You're looking at the leader in P class, P71 High Risk. The High Risk Racing Team would like to thank the crew over at Lake X. Also, Rick Felsen, who's from Great Neck, New York. He's the throttle man, of course. He's also the owner of Hawk Racing Consultants, which offers insurance for the racing teams. High Risk right now the leader in P class. Of course, behind High Risk is Patriot. All the other boats in the P category seem to have fallen out of the race. They include Venus Swimwear, Team Florida, and Auto Palace Performance. So it's just a two-boat race at this point. between High Risk and Patriot. High Risk the leader. There's In Excess there on the outside in the Super V class. But on the inside, it's High Risk P71, the leader in P class, a 32-foot skater cat. Mike Nicholson and Rick Felson doing an excellent job with P71, High Risk. Rick Felson, throttle man, doing an excellent job. Rick out of Great Neck, New York. Recovery also out of the New York area is doing excellently in this race. Recovery, of course, is first overall and first in open class. High Risk is the last boat that we will be covering for you, and very shortly we will give you the results of this 1994 Key West Superboat Grand Prix from Key West, Florida.